All right. Thank you, Michael. Mommy Dorothy, I want to ask, what is it like? I deduced this question from I think some of the things that Michael said. That what are those things that helped sustain the relationship between the mother and the daughter-in-law in those days during your young young self and getting into marriage compared to what we have today?
Thank you. You see, this discussion is very interesting because mother-in-law and daughter-in-law issues is becoming epidemic. It's almost an epidemic. So you see, those days, families were involved in whom a man married or whom a lady married. Those days in Owerri, Imo State, I'm from Abia. We don't do it, but in Owerri, Imo State, there's a culture they had, which I know the new generation have thrown to the trash. Before you marry any girl, once introduction has been made and knocking on the door has been made, that lady will come and live with your mother for at least a month, between 1 month to 3 months. Except that happens, you are never going to go ahead to marry her. During that period, like Timley said, is for them to bond. Is for the mother-in-law. We call D in Igbo, we call husband D-I. And D means endurance, means patience, means tolerance in Igbo land. So the mother-in-law will teach. They say after your mother have trained you, your mother-in-law also need to retrain you a little to tell you about the kind of food, her culture, the kind of things that works in her family. She needs to, bring you into what is expected of a wife. So those days, when they bond like that, the mother-in-law is able to make some correction that you didn't get from your family. And the daughter-in-laws those days will take it in peace because they because they came with a mind state. I'm trying to wait for the noise. I think a village boy. I'm trying to wait for the cracking. Even though the girls those days, they will come into marriage with a mindset to make it work. And they are ready to take all the training, to take all corrections in peace and in happiness. But today's generation, they prepare for marriage celebration. They prepare for party. They put in all their effort in Ashebi, just celebration for the world to see that their marriage was the best. Their wedding dress. So they put in all the attention to the celebration of the marriage, but not the marriage in itself. Today's girls do not care what happens inside their house. They are more interested in pleasing the outside world. Now, those days, a guy cannot just pick a lady like today. What they do, you just come to visit your son and you see a lady in the house already. You're already married. Oh, it's my friend. I was going to bring her. They already start these things. Even some get pregnant without involvement, without family involvement. These girls too, they just move into a boy's house that their parents do not know about the boy. Do not know where they come from. There's no investigation. We call it asking questions. Like my daughter, my son comes to me, Mommy, I want to marry this person. Your family will go and make inquiry about the background of that family. If the father of that boy was beating his mother, the family will say, see what we found out. Oh, the father was beating the mother. And the parents will be able to say, my daughter, you're not going to go to that family. And the girl will listen. But today, there's no family involvement. They do everything by themselves. And then, like Timley said, the men don't even look. In Igbo land, we say a woman has 3 bags when she comes to marriage. The day she comes in, she brings in 1 bag and keeps the 2 outside. She brings in the bag one by one. Those bags are character. The 3rd bag she will bring in is when she gives birth to a male child. She'll be like, now I've arrived. I'm in charge. I've given him a male child. Then her head gets big. Nobody else matters. Like Toshi talked about. There's something in beauty. A beautiful woman without character is ugly. Beautiful character attracts. Ugly character repels. How can you come to marry a man? Those days, marriage is love me, love my dog. You cannot love a man and not love his family, not love his mother. Then you don't love that man. But the men too, they are looking for, instead of looking for a girl that is well brought up, that has a, some of the girls they marry are even disrespectful to their own parents. Yet, because she has big breasts and big nails, you go and carry, put in the house. A girl that does not respect her own parents, how do you expect her to respect your own parents? You are dating a girl. Every time she comes to tell you about her family, she rubbishes her family before you. You go ahead and marry her. When you marry her, she will start to rubbish your own family too. A girl that has no value for her family or respect for her parents, you go and carry and put in the house. A boy that has no family respect for his own parents, you go and marry such a man. A man, those days, when they want to marry a man, they will ask of the relationship of that man with his mother. A man will first have to marry his mother and marry his sisters by the way he treats them before he qualifies to marry somebody's daughter. If a man does not treat his mother and siblings well, no family will allow him marry their daughter. So because of that, everybody is put on check. You know that as your behavior, people are watching you. They will come and ask questions. Those days, when people want to go to Yoruba land to marry from Igbo, they will go to a beer parlor in the Yoruba area. Just sit in beer parlor, buy a pami and be drinking. And then, please, I'm looking for so family. There's the family. That family. Hey. You know, you will get all the information from there. When you go home, you will tell your son or your daughter, that family you want to marry to see what I found out about them. But today, families don't care. They live anyhow because nobody will come and investigate them. Nobody will come and ask them before they give them wife or daughter. Today, once a man has money, every family wants to give their daughter to the man that has money. And those they don't care about his character, about how he will treat them later. They just want money. So people marry for the wrong reasons, unlike it was those days. You can't marry a girl without your family approval. But today, you don't need a family approval. Even I had a girl that rented parents. She was bad to her family. Her family put her away as an outcast. So when she wanted to marry, she went to rent one father and mother and presented to her in-law as her parents. It was when Katakata boss that they discovered that this one the people she presented are not her parents. Same thing men are doing today. If they know their parents say, mommy said, don't marry this girl, you can't marry this girl, they will sidelike her parents because they say they had an objection. Instead of you to observe, investigate that objection they have, check it out, find out if they are truly being sentimental or biased. Then come back to them and say, mommy, I think your view about this family is wrong. Correct them, agree with them, but no, they will also sidelike their parents, go and rent parents and go to marry and when trouble happens, nobody you can call. Money wives today do not know who holds the mumu button of their husband. Somebody who holds the mumu button of your husband is the person you can call. Like Michael, listen to Village Boy. In the family you are marrying to, who holds the mumu button of your husband? Who holds the mumu button of your wife? Whom you can always call. But they don't care. They are alone by themselves. They are okay by themselves.
Mommy, let me stop you for now.
Stop me, darling. Thank
you. Okay, so I wanted to ask Timilai, Yeti, especially because our network is having some, it's misbehaving somehow, even though it's a Buhari's network.
MTN has been abysmal. Sorry.
Yeah. So the question I wanted to ask you is, how do you think mother-in-laws should prepare for the time when they are? Do you think mother-in-laws should prepare for the time, mentally prepared that, okay, this boy that I love so much, because how much the mothers, African parents, African parents, they put a lot of investment in their male children, and so there is a lot of attraction, like people, especially if it's the oldest, okay, if it's the oldest and it's a boy, there is tendency that there's going to be some kind of a closeness between that son and the mother. So how should the mother prepare? You as a mother now, as a young parent, how do you prepare your mind, that this boy is going to one day bring one girl, and whether I like it or not, I have to accept that girl. How do you prepare your mind for such adventure?
It's with the realization that this, first of all, you have to know that this is your son, but he has his own life ahead. Everybody belongs to themselves. You are the shepherd. They came here, they're part of your family, and that's fantastic. You have the responsibility to raise them, you have the responsibility to care for them. But at the same time, you don't feel like you own them, and so they are your hope, your future, and all those kind of things. You don't feel like they're your hope, your future, and all those kind of things. Sorry, there's a bit of noise around. So you don't feel like they're your hope, your future, and all of that. You have to be able to face your you have to be able to face the fact and say, eventually, the way I had my own home, they are going to have their own homes too. So by the time you think of that, you actually begin to prepare yourself and prepare your son also. So your hands are already very loose. You don't come into the house and think, oh, I'm going to dictate what happens in this home. Remember what it was like in your own home too. In your own home, by the time it was that you got married, while you cared for your in-laws and stuff like that, as others have said, I think because tradition was a certain way, culture was a certain way. When your mother-in-law came into the house, she more or less owned the house also. She could do what she liked. She could dictate to you what was there. But I don't know, maybe nowadays because of how things work, and maybe just because, but everybody wants to feel like it is their home anyway. So I think that everybody should just, she herself, she should just know, she should remember how it felt when she had her first home, and going into that home, she should realize that this is actually this woman's home. This is my son whom I love, but even the Bible says, leave your family, leave your parents, and cleave. Go and drop it in the kitchen, please. And cleave. Oh, God bless you, sir. And live and cleave. So I think once they understand, I think that thing comes from the inside, because there's a special bond between mothers and sons. And it is very, whether, I don't know, I don't think when the young men are talking about it, I don't think they understand it actually. That by the time, it's not just the wife being unnecessarily antsy. I think actually the mother also feels, this is my son, I've known him from when I was small. I'm the one that he normally listens to. Then you have to listen to me too. And I think it's understandable. It's just, everybody just has to bring some understanding to the table. Thank you. Sorry for the noise.
Okay, sorry, let me take your time, please. Well, Yoruba said,
yeah.
The village boy will help me interpret this. Every mother desires a granddaughter, desires a son to marry. Don't you see how they disturb their sons? Oh boy, bring a wife for me now. What are you waiting for? I want my granddaughter, I want my grandchildren. So every mother wants to have her granddaughter and her grandchildren. But what I want mothers to do, like the question our boss asked, is this. Don't marry this girl because she's Calabar, because she's Yoruba. Don't reject her because of her tribe. Every mother-in-law out there should be more interested in how that girl is brought up, her character. Like Michael said, focus on her character. Even if Calabar are witches, Yoruba are witches, it can be all Calabar, can be all Yoruba. Focus on her character. See the good things, the good things about that girl. And then, because you want your son to marry, if your son is at peace at home, you are also at peace, dear mother-in-law. If that girl, nobody is complete, that girl your son wants to marry may have some shortcomings. Take her like your daughter and teach her and say this and this. Help her to start a new home that she's coming to. Welcome her. She's like your daughter. Like when my son was getting married, I never met that girl before. They were both in school, but along the line, something happened. I had to travel to see her parents. They said, okay, it's my son. It's my son that did this. This is my family. This is who we are. I'm going to marry your daughter. I've never set my eyes on her. And when she gave birth to cesarean operation. I went to her. I traveled to go and meet her to get to know her, which is not many mother-in-law would do that. My son was supposed to bring her to show to me. But I traveled because she got pregnant. She just had a baby. I can't expect her to travel from Oka, the school where she was, to me. So I went to her to get to know her. And as I was going, I went to Igbo in Lagos. I bought crayfish, soup, all the kind of food that we eat. I'm from Umaya, we eat achara. I bought her achara and introduced her to all of them. Now, Yeti was saying, your mother-in-law will say you are still sleeping. Are we that wicked? A mother-in-law went through bath. She knows what childbirth is. She cannot be waking a woman that, are you still sleeping? You get back, get up. No. I don't think we are that terrible the way people are saying to mother-in-law. When I went to this girl's house, I went to meet her in the hostel. Some of her hostel girls were coming to people at the door just to get to know this kind of mother-in-law because it was raining. I entered this area with my shorts with them. We were struggling to fetch water. My daughter-in-law carried a bucket. I said, no, drop it. She just gave back. He just gave back to a cesarean operation. She was a student. She was laying on the bed with her child. I lay on the floor because she needs to relax her, but she just gave birth. So not every mothers are this wicked like everybody is saying. There are some good mother-in-law.
You're right.
So my colleague Yemisi, she's a Yoruba lady. She prefers her mother-in-law to come each time she give birth than her own mother because they blend. Because before she come back, one day we close for work and I said, okay, we want to buy things to cook. But at that time she got home, mother-in-law has already, improvised something and she couldn't cook that day. So there are wonderful mother-in-laws out there. I just beg today's ladies to open your mind. Do not have a mindset. Do not judge your mother-in-law by what another mother-in-law did to her own daughter. Don't use that mindset to go into a new home and begin antagonize the woman that has not done anything to you. Even if she has done something to you, think of her like your mother. Think of her like your mother and just try and work it out. And then a man too should stand the ground. You can't be looking away and going to buy sweat.
Let me stop you here again, okay?
Stop me, Daddy. Thank you.
All right. I wish we have a lot of time to discuss this. All right. I know that it's an interesting topic that we all have something to say about.
Very
something.
much so.
You know, our experiences are different and rich. Now I want to